Welcome to Dark Knight Films Reviews and another Hammer Productions night. Tonight, I will be reviewing The Satanic Rites of Dracula, released in 1973. The Satanic Rites of Dracula stars Christopher Lee, Peter Cushing, Michael Coles, William Franklyn, Richard Vernon, Joanna Lumley, and Valerie Van Ost. Satanic Rites of Dracula was directed by Alan Gibson. Now this one, just like the previous film in this series, Dracula AD 1972, is written by Don Houghton. And this director-writer combo worked all right in AD 1972 because it still had a lot of that gothic style to it, even though it was set in that weird 70s vibe setting. This retains that 70s vibe setting that I could not stand with AD 1972, and unfortunately, Don Houghton decided to add another element to this that was unnecessary, and that is a secret agent element. He tried to make this a Dracula movie where you have Van Helsing working with a Secret Service agency similar to the way James Bond does. And it does not work. You have Peter Cushing and Michael Cole's characters from AD 1972 literally teaming with this organization that could be just the organization in the James Bond movies. And Dracula himself, as played by Christopher Lee, is basically portraying a James Bond villain. His plan to poison people through the bubonic plague is right out of a frickin' James Bond film, and it just does not fit with anything we've seen in the previous films. I mean, this is the second time in which Christopher Lee was made to play a completely different variation of the Count Dracula character, the first of which was Scars of Dracula. But whereas that one just made him a sadistic, evil-style character, this one just makes him a scheming, plotting James Bond-style villain. I mean, hell, his James Bond villain that Christopher Lee literally played in The Man with the Golden Gun had better character development than what Count Dracula has in this, and his schemes that he has going on in this. So, Peter Cushing tries his best with this film, but it just is off having him play this character in this kind of a film. It's just so off with the 70s vibe to it and the secret agent elements to it. It's just so far and away from anything we had gotten prior to this in the Dracula series from Hammer. And then on top of that, they decided that Stephanie Beacham is not mature looking enough, and we are going to recast Jessica with Joanna Lumley. Well, let me tell you something. Stephanie Beacham was a great actress. I've seen her in numerous films. That actress could have played any kind of a character you gave her, whether it was a mature character, whether it was a character like her character that she played in AD 1972. She could have played this role. But I don't know if she would have wanted to anyway. So maybe it was a good thing that they decided to do this so that Stephanie Beacham didn't have to suffer the indignity of playing in this travesty of a film. Alan Gibson, I can't blame him so much because he is a good director. Some of what he did in AD 1972 was amazing, great, good job. And before that, Crescendo, which I've already reviewed on this channel, he did an amazing job on that film. So I think most of the blame for this one definitely has to go with Don Houghton. Don Houghton would do AD 1972, the Satanic Rites, and then he followed that. He was the writer responsible for the travesty of the 7 Golden Vampires. And it's just, what the hell? Dude, you don't have to write different types of stories with weird bullshit trying to merge elements together to make these Dracula movies work. Just do what we, as the horror audience, wants to see in a Dracula film. And we wanted to see the Hammer Gothic horror style continue forward. We didn't want to see it tainted by 70s elements. We didn't want to see it tainted by secret agent James Bond elements being thrown into here. So this film is one of the worst in the Hammer Dracula series, unfortunately. And this is the last that Christopher Lee would play the character of Count Dracula in a Hammer film. So it's an unfortunate, bad way to end it. To end it on a bad note with him playing such a over-the-top, goofy version of the character. But yeah, this film was just not good. Not good at all. So my final review of The Satanic Rites of Dracula from 1973. I am going to give this film a 6.2 out of 10. This film, along with Countess Dracula, is 2 of my least favorite films from Hammer, unfortunately. But what do you guys think of The Satanic Rites of Dracula? Do you disagree with my review? Do you think this was one of the better of the films? Let me know in those comments down below. And as usual, if you enjoyed this review, do not forget to like, share, and subscribe. And don't forget to click that bell icon so you can be notified about future videos just like this one. And while you're by the subscribe button, don't forget to click that join button and become a Dark Knight fan. All right. It's the end of another Hammer Productions night. Hope you will join me tomorrow for another action movie night. Until then, thanks for watching.